I really like this yellow. It's so happy. So yeah, it's like a runny egg yolk. I'm gonna, again, touch up some spots just because I'm being, I'm being extra. Hey everybody, it is Devon from the Maniology team, and today we're gonna be talking about 4 easy bases that you can create with our Sheer Tints Rainbow Splash. And if you don't know what that is, then stick around because these are perfect for stained glass looks. But there's so much more, and there is quite an unlimited potential for sheer tints. So that's part of the reason why we're having this live today. So before we get started, some things that you're gonna need today, you're gonna need a stamper, and you're gonna need these sheer tint polishes. You don't have to use the same colors I'm using for my swatch tips. So you see here that I have like a white swatch tip. You don't have to use that color, but I just wanted to get a light color. You're gonna need some kind of very light color. So let's get started. The first look that I want to teach you guys is smoke look. So if you have our black sheer regular polish, that is great for creating a smoked nail design. However, today, since we're playing with our Rainbow Splash collection, I figured we should try something more fun and bright. So let's do like a blue smoke look. So in this technique, we're not even gonna really cover stamping, which is, you know, you can do all of these designs with stamping over it. But in today's live, we're just going to talk about bases. So I'm going to do some pink, and I'm going to do a little bit more blue. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, mine's is not like super perfect. And then you're just going to take your stamper and pick up the design like that. So I don't want some of this junk stuff here, so I'm just going to be using, you can use a toothpick or whatever you want to take it away. You can use your scraper card, and I'm just using our marbling tool. And then you just stamp it on like that. And for this, you can kind of manipulate it more so that way you can have it look more like smoke, especially if you're using our sheer black polish. That works so well for a smoke design. Let's see if I can kind of play with it a little bit more, kind of get more of that smoky look and feel. And kind of liked the way it looked with that. I'm using the pink from our Rainbow Splash collection. Then if you want, you can take your tool or any kind of fine tipped surface. Whoops. This is kind of nice too. And then you just go ahead and stamp over. So if you want, you can even layer it more. So for example, if you wanted some parts more blue, you could do that, as you see here. Or if you wanted some parts more thin, you could do it that way. So again, there's lots of ways that you can kind of play around with this. The cool thing about using the sheer tints is the fact that it has buildable color pigmentation. So if you want it to be a little bit more sheer like this, then you can, or if you want it to be more vibrant and bold, you can go ahead and stamp again over that same section with the same color. So that is our first look, and that's kind of our smoke look. Okay, the second look that we're going to be doing is a gradient design. So I applied a light pink base down. That was our, I want to say it's our color correcting base. Sorry, I can't remember the exact name, but this is one of our base coats that we're using. I applied that down just because I wanted to create like a semi-sheer finish, but I still wanted you guys to be able to see through the tip. Next, I'm going to use our sticky base coat because we're going to be adding a little sparkle in there. And you're just going to go ahead and apply it to the whole nail. You just need one coat of this. Give it a few seconds to dry. I'd say about 30 seconds. I'm just going to put it back here so that way I don't knock it. And then grab a torn stamper. Why don't you take a look? Mine's is torn here. Never throw away your torn stamper heads unless it has like a huge chunk missing. You can do awesome things with it. And the next thing you're going to grab is your Illusions flaky powder. If you don't have this particular color, you can use any kind of iridescent flaky powder you want. And then you're going to go ahead and using your junk stamper head, I'm just going to use my finger because I don't have to worry about a client or anything like that. I'm just going to dip my finger in there just a little bit. You can also use an eyeshadow brush if you want, but I want to be very hands-on today. And I'm just going to tap a little bit on. So when I do this, you're going to try and get it so that way it's kind of like a gradient. So you see how I have majority of the shimmery pigments down here? I'm only kind of tapping it gently so that way some of the pigments end up going upwards, but I don't want it to be too much because I want majority of the shimmer to be on the tip of the nail. So just like that, where we have most of it down below. Whoops. Be careful when you're using this because it's very easy to get it everywhere. Don't sneeze, don't have the AC on. It's already kind of all over my mat now. Then you're gonna go back to your base and just double check it. Yep, it's a little bit tacky now. Then you're gonna go ahead and stamp that over, and voila. So, if you still have a little bit of excess on here, you can always just do that. So you see how some of it is empty towards the top, while the tip of the nail has a high concentration of that sparkle. That is the look that we want. Next, you're going to take your vermilion, which is our sheer pink, and you're going to paint the whole nail this sheer pink. Just like that. So if you want, you can leave it like this, or if you want, you can turn it into a gradient base. So I'm going to give this a few moments to dry, maybe about 30 seconds to a minute, because if I try to paint it now, I'm going to actually end up making it look stringy and possibly taking away some of the base polish layers that I have on, because I'm trying to paint over it when it's still too wet or tacky. So let's just put this on the side for now. My favorite flaky color of all time is actually this one because it's got a red flash, which you can kind of see. It's got like a red and gold flash, and I really like that kind of sparkle. Some of them have more like a purple blue, some have like a pink green gold, but I like the red gold flash. I don't know why, I just like that fieriness with the red. Okay, so now that that's probably, yep, I think that's dry enough. We'll go ahead and paint a second coat. So when you paint the second coat, you're only going to paint the half of the nail. And you're also going to only get a little bit of polish on your brush. You don't want to have too much when you're doing this. And then you're just going to go, starting at the tip of the nail, just kind of go upwards. This will help to create more of that gradient tip. So I don't know if you guys can see. I know that the flash right now, because I have like these two huge studio lights ahead of me, or above me, maybe you're not seeing the full effect of it. However, there is a really cute soft gradient going on. And I'm going to try and see if I can speed it up because I don't want you guys to have to wait forever. We're just going to go ahead and do another coat. So be very careful when you're doing this technique. You don't want to apply a lot of pressure or scrape very hard. And if you're struggling with getting a really pretty like ombre base, this is a good collection for you because it's very easy to create ombres, especially if you are using the lighter colors. I recommend, if you're going to do an ombre, try with the lighter colors. Don't try with like the blues because they're very, very pigmented and sometimes it can be really hard to not get a streaky finish. But like with the pink, it's perfect. So this is base number 2. So you can kind of see. Can you guys see the gradient going on here? I can see it from my end, but I just wonder if you guys can too. The next thing that we are going to do is our multicolored base. So when you're working with layering these colors on top of each other, you want to start with the lightest color first. Don't start with the darkest color first. It's going to be very hard to layer other colors on top of that. I really like this yellow. It's so happy. Okay. So color theory is important when you're working with your sheer tints. You cannot start off with the dark colors first and then try to layer the light colors over because these are sheer and they don't have a white base, so it doesn't work like a regular polish in that way. But the cool thing is you can layer polishes over this and then you can get completely new colors. So I'm going to show you how you can layer, for example, this red over, and you can have spots of orange in it if you want, or or you can have spots of like a stronger red. This is actually a yellow color. Even though it looks orange inside the bottle, it's called Sunny Day, and it's like a really strong, almost like a egg yolk yellow, like a really fresh farm egg yolk yellow, not the kind that we buy in the supermarket that's like light yellow. So yeah, it's like a runny egg yolk. So I think this is it's kind of wet a little bit. Ooh, yep, it's a little bit still wet. Maybe we should just give that a few moments to chill out. In the meantime, I am going to get our space ready. So I'm using part of my sticky stamper station. I had like used up the sticky part, and instead of throwing it away, I use it sometimes for when I do a smudge cure, which is what I'm going to do for this space right now. So just like we said earlier, so you can see how the colors can play and layer together, I'm going to dab some of that sunshine yellow and then the vermilion pink, and then also, this is a really strong color, so you don't need much. Red and blues are generally really strong shades to use and work with. Okay, so I kind of like this spot here. Okay, so wait for the sweet spot. There is a sweet spot where it's like, you see how shiny this is right now? The reflection of it. that means it's a little bit too wet, and you have to be careful because, again, you don't want to accidentally like smudge off too much of the design. Let's see. Okay, I think it's okay. And there you go. Man, I wish you guys could see this in person because I feel like my lighting situation is really not doing it justice. It's so bright. Maybe also it's like these little tacky stuff on. Oh, there, you can see it better. So yeah, this is like a really fun smudgicure style that you can create with this. Now, the last base that I wanted to show you guys was the layering color. It's kind of like a dry brush stroke effect, but a little different. So you're gonna start with, again, your lightest base. I want to use vermilion. And I'm just gonna paint like a diagonal stroke going this way. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna Bob Ross this situation. Any type of happy paint strokes is good. The next color I'm going to use is not a part of the Rainbow Splash collection. However, this is a gorgeous color if you don't have it, and it has a buildable color pigmentation, which I really like, because sometimes I want them to be slightly more sheer so that way I can do other stuff with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put polish on those areas that are kind of empty. So you can already see I've got like the two-tone color action going on right now. You're going to need a few seconds for this to dry a little bit, and then grab your darker colors. So again, your first base, you're going to do your lighter colors, and now we're going to go in with our darker shades. So our darker shades are going to be Ocean Depths and Violet Spectrum. And if you guys remember here, when we did it over white, you can see how pigmented this blue is. It's a very strong shade of blue. And then even our purple is really, really rich and also just a very dark color. So when you're doing this, you want to be a little bit careful. You're going to need to be really gentle when you are, oh, whoops. I'm just going to note this here. You're going to need to be really gentle when you're applying the polish on. No heavy-handed, do not drag too much, because if you do that, it's going to be too strong of an effect, and we kind of want to keep it, you know, more light and airy. So as you can see, I barely have anything on the brush. Then I'm just going to drag that blue over that teal section. You can already see the color is starting to build. Once I take the tip off of this little tacky stuff, you'll be able to see all the colors. So right now you're seeing parts of the teal and you're seeing parts of that gorgeous blue. Then you're going to go back and take your purple, and I'm going to just layer it over the pink, because I know that a dark purple will show over a light pink. So you can go in whatever direction you wanted. I'm just kind of doing what I think looks cute. And you can even go over some of those blue parts with the skinnier part of your brush. So like here, I'm kind of turning my brush a little bit to kind of highlight some of those other darker spots. And if you want to strengthen your base colors underneath, so remember those pink and teal colors that we used, if you want to go back and make them a little bit brighter, you can go ahead and do so because it's not going to affect your darker colors on top. So your darker colors, now that we laid it down, they're not going to be affected when we go over those light spots again. So you can see. You see my purple still looks really good. I can still see the color, and I can still see that there's like a gap here where it's a lighter pink. Oops. And even if I go over part of that blue and teal, it's completely okay because, again, color theory is important for this one. So I'm just going to go back over those blue spots and teal spots to just like add a little bit more color. And you can even like drag a little bit down here if you want. Again, you can really just do whatever your heart desires. So this would be really cute for like a crystal nail, for example. For those of you who love the stone nail look, this collection is perfect for you. You can do lots of really, really cute stone looks with sheer tints. I'm gonna, again, touch up some spots just because I'm being, I'm being extra. And also adding all these like little strokes here and there really helps make it stand out more. And it looks like a crazy hot mess now, but when you take it off, when it's super wet, I would not recommend doing this. You can see all of the colors in the rainbow. So that is our last design. You can see here. Oh, there. It kind of has a really cool like fluorite stone effect. So that's our 4 simple bases that you can create using our Rainbow Splash collection. And now that we got our bases done, it's all ready for stamping. So I hope you guys try these techniques out, and if you do try them, please make sure you mention us or hashtag us. We love seeing what your creations are. Anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing week. And again, if you create something beautiful, please share it with us. Or if you just get nail mail and you're super excited, you have a whole community to share that with. And don't forget to turn on the notification for our lives. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you everyone for watching and joining us. I'll see you guys next week. Talk to you later. Bye.